Hello and welcome back, friends. If you're new around here, I'm Big Gator. If you came looking for the sharpest tennis bets, you're right where you belong. Right now, we're covering Kitzbuhel on the clay, Umag on the clay, and DC on the hard courts. We made it all the way to the second round, so make sure you pop into the comments and let me know what you guys are playing, because I've been seeing a few comments here and there, and some decent picks have been there. I'd like to see some more. And keep an eye out for the pin comment to see what I'll be playing as well. We've been on a pretty decent run right now. We'll get into that soon. So if you do enjoy these videos and like the breakdowns of the matches, please give this video a like. It goes a long way for me. And if you would like to get these picks as soon as they get uploaded, like literally you don't have to watch the video. You can just get the upload and see the pick and play it. You can subscribe to the channel. That's the most effective way if you want to go about it, to be honest with you. And if you're feeling generous for whatever wins you get, there's a link in the pinned comment. Now, with that out of the way, what are we looking like today? Day 4, official tickets have been smoking. Let's go. We took the two Americans yesterday, and it rolled over until today. We took Alex Kovacevic, and we took Ethan Quinn. Both of them got it done for us, plus 222 odds, starting off on the hard courts in America. Love that. And then we took Ben Shelton and Ugo Carabelli today. Bam. Straight sets from Ben Shelton and a third setter that was a bit concerning, but we ended up getting exactly what was needed from Carabelli. Great job from him. So that makes it, like I said, a 4-day win streak. So if you are new here, we have been winning since semifinals of Gstaad. So it started with El Chapo and Bublik, and we ran it back again, and now it's Quinn and Kovacevic, and now it's Shelton and Carabelli. So hopefully we keep it going today. That's the intent. That's what we're going to try to do. And without further ado, let's pop back into the mix. We got a bit of a list of stuff ahead of us, so let's hop into it and get right into it. All right, so we'll pop into Kitzbuhel. And our first match I think we'll be looking at is Arthur Rinderknech going against Norbert Gombos. And looks like Rinderknech just had a birthday. Today. His birthday's today. He turned 30 today, so he'll be playing on his 30th birthday. Congratulations to Arthur Rinderknech. Happy birthday to you. He's ranked 65 going against a 34-year-old Gombos, who has been trending upwards this year. His form has been doing this. So he's been winning in straight sets since he's been in Kitzbuhel. Gombos has been. He's beaten Gaston recently in 6-3, 6-4, someone who has not been looking too great this season. And then we have Rinderknech, who won in 3 sets against Bagnis after losing in straight sets to Passaro on his first match back on the clay, back in Gstaad. I like the matchup here. I feel like this could be a long match, honestly. There's no head-to-head history between them. They're both 30-year-olds now. As far as like how it looks on paper, it looks like Rinderknech, he's been playing well this year. You've been hearing me say it, and I've been saying it a bit reluctantly. I think the guy's been playing really well this year. I think he gets this win. He's probably going to be the favorite, I would imagine. Minus 215. It's actually not bad. I don't feel too comfortable or too sure on him just yet. Going against someone who's winning in straight sets. I'm going to chill on this match and see who ends up coming up on top. It's been working for me pretty well. So next we'll have Yannick Hanfmann going against Sebastian Baez. And whew, if there's one match that I feel like is free money for you guys, it is Sebastian Baez losing this one. They played each other once before. It was 3 years ago in Rio de Janeiro, and it actually ended up being a successful victory for Baez, where he was clearly in way better form, but it was a 3-setter with 2 tie breaks, a second and third set tie break. Looking at both of these guys' form, 11-11 on the clay for Hanfmann and 17-12 for Baez. He won Rio de Janeiro this year, but he has not been looking too good, right? He beat that one kid, but it took him 3 sets to do so. And ever since then, he has been losing pretty much every match since he lost against Holger Rune back in April. So he seems to be out of form. And then we have Hanfmann, who's been playing really well. 7-5, 6-2, 6-1, 6-3, 6-1 tie break against people that are kind of nobodies, though. So that is the caveat there. I don't feel as confident as I do anymore looking at this. I would think Hanfmann wins this match, but Baez is better ranked and has the on paper, he has the record to prove that he could win. They're even money, which kind of tells you they're both minus 110, so I leave it alone. I'd leave it alone, fam. Next we have Bublik, VDZ, going against Mr. Misolic, Filip Misolic. We keep seeing this guy on the clay, right? He's still here. He's popping her up. He's popping up and he's staying. The boy's form is hard to ignore. 23 years old. Going 36-10 on the clay this season with a 67% win rate. Going against Bublik VDZ, Van de Zandschulp. 7-8 on the clay with a 61% win percentage. Playing at a high level, obviously. He is ranked 105, 103, but he was in the top 22. But looking at this kid right here, he beat Echeverry, who's what? A bit out of form, but he is a top 60 player. Been dropping rank a bit this year, but top 60 player. Misolic is ranked what? 97. I don't think he was that. Yeah, he just ranked up. He was not in the top 100 before the last tournament ended. So good for him. Good for him. Anyway, I think that Misolic is going to at least get a set if he doesn't take the full win. I think he will take the full win here. Bublik did beat Nicholas Jerry in 3 sets. He did lose to Ugo in 3 sets. So he was able to get a set off on him. Someone that Philip couldn't get a set off on. So that is a big thing there. They both played Ugo and Ugo Carabelli in Bostad, and he got rid of them both, but he got rid of Misolic a bit more convincingly, which makes me think that maybe Bublik might have a little bit of a slight edge in some type of way. Their play styles are very different, so it won't be the same type of outcome, I would assume, but you never know. I'm not going to be putting anything on this one either. I don't think. I'm rooting for Misolic though. I think he gets the win. I don't know for sure though. Next we have Pedro Martinez going against Jean-Leonard Struff. And they've played each other 3 times already, but it's been years. The most recent head-to-head was a retirement in 2022 on the hard courts. They've only played on the clay almost 10 years ago, with Struff winning. Struff's been playing well. Martinez has not hopped on the clay yet since Wimbledon. He's 7-11 on the clay this season, even though he is primarily a clay player. He's been having a pretty rough season. So is Struff. on the clay. He's 4-7, but he was 1-7 up until recently in Kitzbuhel. So he's been turning that around. Got rid of Offner in straight sets pretty convincingly as well. I'd say Struff gets it done here just because you know how we. If there's one thing you know about me at this point, if you've been watching, I do not like betting on motherfuckers who have to step on the fucking surface for the first time in months, unless they've had a proven record of doing so, or they are just too good for it to matter at the time, like Lerner Tien. Lerner Tien left Wimbledon and beat Emilio Nava, who took a set off Rublev on the hard courts in Mexico, literally just last week, and then beat him 6-3, 6-1. 6-1, 6-3. Like, it was first match on the hard courts since Wimbledon. So certain people, I just have a way of picking them because they have the track record, right? So Struff will probably get it done here. Martinez is going to have to bump his head and get his bearings back. I'm afraid on this one. Then we have Comesana going against Arthur Cazaux. Comesana going to get this dub. Let's not even play. Let's not even play. He beat Tristan Boyer in straight sets. The only thing that was really stopping him was Bublik in Gustad, as I said in the last few videos. And had he been in the draw with Comesana, he would have been out of there just as fast. So I love Comesana on this money line. I don't know what he's at. Let me see what he's priced at. Probably minus 210. I'd be so surprised if he loses to this kid, dude. I'd be so surprised if he loses to this kid. He's not going to lose. Comesana's not going to lose to Arthur Cazaux, bro. I might have to make 2 tickets. I'm feeling a bit generous. We might have to do 2 tickets today just because of the picks that we have. We might just have to do it. Okay. Well, I'll go into it, but there's not much of a need to go into it. Arthur Cazaux is ranked 100 now. Comesana is ranked 73. He's 18-12 on the clay. He's a 64% winner on the clay. And then Cazaux is 5-4 this season, and he's a 51% winner on the clay. So, I mean, it's open and shut. Boom, boom. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we got Bublik. He's back, and he's going against Thiago Tirante, who just got rid of Jaime Faria in straight sets, 6-2, 6-2, pretty convincingly. But if you guys were watching a bit, we did take Bublik earlier this season when he came from one court after he won a title. He went to where? He won. What did he win? He won Halle, and then the next thing he played in was Wimbledon. Lost in the first round to Munar. Lost to Jaume Munar in 5 sets at Wimbledon. First round. And then comes back in the next tournament and wins it. What the fuck, bruh? That's so crazy. So, do we get the same pattern from Bublik? He's done this. He's been doing this all year, seemingly since the Turin Challenger. He wins the Challenger, plays the next match, loses in straight sets, comes back, gets far as fuck playing well. He got to Yannick Sinner and Roland Garros, and then jumps onto the grass, wins Halle, immediately onto the grass. After winning a championship, loses first round. This is a pattern with this guy, and we may have found it. Does Bublik give a fuck about winning some more right now, or does he give up? I challenge you all to take Thiago Tirante. I challenge some brave soul out there to take Thiago Tirante, to take him to win the money line. His money line's at plus 184. That's not as high as I thought it'd be, honestly. He did lose to Dino Prizmic, who's been playing really well in San Marino. He lost in 3 sets in the semifinals. But yeah, that's a good laugh. That's a good laugh. Somebody test it out and see. Throw some little smoke on that. All right. Next, got 2 more left. Okay, we have Alexander Shevchenko going against Martin Fucsovics, and they have a head-to-head history as well. They played on the clay earlier this year in Rome. 6-4, 6-2, Shevchenko. And before that, it was on the hard courts back in Cincinnati, actually, year after year in the qualification first round. It's so funny. They only play each other in qualies. That's so weird. That's so weird. Every year since 2023, they've played each other in the qualification round. And it goes back and forth. Now they're both in the second round. Who takes it? Fucsovics did make it to the third round in Wimbledon, so he was playing really well on the grass. But if you don't know about his history on the clay this season, he was 11-8 so far. He's 32-15 this season. Shevchenko is 18-15, 22-25 this season. 57% win rate for Fucsovics on the clay, and then 61.5 for Shevchenko. I might steer away from this one. Honestly, if you're bleeding to know what I would think, though, I would say Fucsovics for a set. All right, next and last but not least, we have Thiago Seyboth Wild going against Roberto Bautista Agut. And they've never played each other, funny enough. RBA has not been on the clay yet. He's hopping back from his first round loss in Wimbledon. 4 sets against Cam Norrie. And Seyboth Wild actually beat Justin Engel, and I did not expect that, honestly. So that could mean he's looking a bit good. Seyboth Wild could get you a set right now. That might be all I have for that, though. Just because Roberto Bautista Agut has not played on the clay yet, I would say Seyboth Wild for a set. He's 6-7 on the clay this season, RBA. 37 years old. Seyboth Wild is 13-12 on the clay. 58% win percentage. RBA has a 57. So, slight edge. There is a 12-year difference. Seyboth Wild is 25. But yeah, I would take Seyboth Wild for a set. That wraps up everything in Kitzbuhel. Then we can hop over to Umag. And first we have is Jesper de Jong going against Mariano Navone. And they've yet to play each other as well. This will be their first time in a head-to-head. De Jong is 20-12 on the clay this season, and Mariano Navone is 21-12 on the clay this season. They both have pretty much a 65% win rate. They are 7 ranks apart. I feel like this can be a match of a lot of back and forth. De Jong got rid of what was that dude's name? Polychek in straight sets. Navone got rid of Vera in straight sets as well. Vera only won 3 games. Polychek won 6. Navone's winning a bit harder. but I would say Polychek was a tougher opponent. So I still think the Jong is playing pretty well. I've been watching him play a bit more than I've been watching Navone play. My money would go on the Jong. And next we have Francisco Cerundolo going against Carlos Taberner. I think it's Taberner though. This is their first head-to-head. Both playing. Taberner's not playing too hot on the clay recently. He's been hot and cold. He won his last match, but he lost to Roberto Carballes Baena and Merkel Delian. Probably Hugo Delian's brother, maybe. Cerundolo lost to Dardari in 3 sets in the semifinals back in Bostad last week. Beat Demir Dzumhur in 3 sets as well, and then beat Navone in straight sets. So I would use that sample size and say that he's playing well enough to smoke this kid down. Taberner might be going home, I'm afraid. Might be going home, I'm afraid. Excuse me. Oh. Cerundolo's minus 575, so he's a super favorite. No surprise to me, honestly. We'll move on. We have Tituan Droguet going against Kid Kopsheva. Oh, Vid Kopsheva. Forgive me. This will be their first head-to-head. Both playing decently well on the clay. One is playing a bit better. I would say it'd be Droguet, just because he just beat Garin in straight sets. But he's playing at a challenger level, which is a decent concern. But Kopsheva's kind of been on a stinker. I would kind of look away from this one, honestly. I'd steer away from this one. The 24-year-old Frenchman Droguet is 21-8. Kopsheva is 18-8. Just something's going to be weird there. Something just doesn't seem right. I'm going to stay away from that match. Good luck to whoever plays anything on it. Let me know if you do. Maybe you're seeing something I don't. Next match is Nicolas Basilashvili going against Dino Prizmic. And Prizmic is still here, man. I said he was going to be good for a set. I didn't know he'd be good for straight sets. So, good to see that. He beat Moeller pretty convincingly, 6-4, 6-2. And Basilashvili was going against Carballes Baena, beat him 6-3, 6-4. The 33-year-old Georgian Basilashvili is 9-9 on the clay so far this season. 55% win rate on the clay. Going against 19-year-old Dino Prizmic on his home courts of Croatia, who's 22-4 with a 69% win rate on the clay so far. He was in the final in San Marino. He was in the final in the Milan Challenger. He won Bratislava. He won the Zagreb Challenger. This kid may be the one who takes the entire tournament. For him to win the entire tournament, it's plus 1,200. Oh, Carabelli's in the tournament. He may be able to beat him though. I'm not gonna lie to you. He may be able to do it to him. I'm just kidding. Carabelli, the way he pulled that win off today, I'm like, he trying to win this tournament. He may be the future. We'll talk about futures at the end of the video, though. Moneyline Prizmic, for sure. For sure. Prizmic moneyline, for sure. And he is the favorite, minus 175. That's a good, that's honestly sick. So, let's move on to the next one. Last but not least, we have Damir Dzumhur going against Stan Wawrinka. Two old heads, just like me. All right. I'm just kidding, by the way. We have these two who have been in the game for some time, not all too long, but Stan Wawrinka is 40 years old. Dzumhur is 33. They've played each other only 4 times. Once on the clay, which was about 6 years ago, and it was a 3-setter. But in their last head-to-head, and in their history, it's 2-2 between them. Between the two of them, I would say my money would go more on Dzumhur, just because he's been playing kind of like a beast, right? He lost to Cerundolo, but he got a set off him. I did not expect him to get a set off him, especially after getting bageled. So that was telling, right? Good form. Good enough form. And he's going against somebody, half that age, so I'm not half that age. Let me stop playing with him. Forgive me. No disrespect. Years younger than him, so to keep up with the younger one should have been the bigger challenge. What I'll say. I like the Dzumhur money lines at minus 175. Same prices. Prizmic. Them together is plus 146. Not too mad at that. And that will conclude everything going on in Europe. We can jump to America now on the hard courts, where everything makes way more sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to you too. We're going to jump right into DC. And our first match that we're going to be looking at is going to be Yibing Wu going against Alexei Popyrin. And Popyrin, sorry. These guys have never seen each other before. I take that back. 2 years ago in Australia, in Adelaide, went to a 3-setter. Popyrin being the winner there. So Wu must have gone through some injuries or something like that, because he was in the top 50 2 years ago, and now he's in the top 250. So I would assume injury was what's got him there. So far this year, he's 15-3 on the hard courts, 17-5 this season, playing really well. And Popyrin is 2-6 on the hard courts this season. He's a 56% winner on the hard courts, going against Wu, who's 63%. He just got through Gael Monfils, Corentin Moutet, and Mitchell Kruger so far, but while being in DC. Got rid of Monfils in straight sets. There was some weird stuff going on, though. Like, Monfils looked like he almost got really hurt. He ran into, with the scoreboard, and then he ran into a mic. It was a small court. I was there. He does a lot of wide movements, though, so that was kind of, on him, maybe. I don't know. No one else had that problem. Just on paper and what I've seen Wu in DC now for 3 days playing in this heat. He's going to win this match. I don't. I don't know what y'all think about Alexei Popyrin, but I've seen enough. Wu is going to get this done here. He's plus money too. That's crazy. He may be the certified smoke if I even do one today. Um, I like that. All right. Next we have Zach Svadja going against Yuri Lehecka. Ooh. First head-to-head between these two. They're only a year apart. The American is ranked 153, and the Czech star ranked 25. Has yet to jump on to the hard courts. His last match was against Memphis in March. So it's been some time since he's played on an official hard court. He is 11-5 this season. So Svadja is 9-11. He's been playing really well. He's on a 8-match win streak so far, from the grass onto the hard courts. Beating Kecmanovic in 3 sets today, after almost getting bageled in the first set. And then he beat Tomic and Wawrinka. So not names I would expect him to actually end up actually beating at this level so soon. But Lehecka is a different ball game, man. He's been having a great year up until he wasn't on the hard courts. He beat Alcaraz on the hard courts this year, so you think that dude is to be fucked with. I don't know if I want to take the Yuri moneyline outright. He is a proven hardcore player, but I think it's going to be a bit too much of a sweat. You know, it might be a bit too close. And if it might be a bit too close, it might be worth taking Zach for another set. I said he was going to get one yesterday. He ended up winning the match. So, him getting a set is worth plus money. Plus 100 for him to get a set. I think. Wait, let me make sure. Minus 130. Almost plus money. Not bad, though. All right. So, next we have Alex de Minaur going against Ichikete Boo. And these guys have played each other once before and went 6-4, 6-4 just earlier this year in Miami in de Minaur's favor. We haven't seen a single match from de Minaur on the hard courts in a minute, man. It's been a minute. It's been since Miami, and he lost to Berrettini in straight sets. I worry about that because he transitioned onto the clay pretty well, but his first match onto the grass, he got beaten by Lehecka in straight sets, and I don't know. He was playing decently in the match against Djokovic in Wimbledon. Still, there's not much he could do against Joko once he locked back in. Took that first set off of him, though. So this one, after we saw Boo get rid of Goffin, Goffin's just been playing like wherever. So I think he's more just traveling right now than playing a lot of tennis. He's been doing more traveling than playing tennis, that's for sure. So I don't know if form is actually too applicable. He played a close match, 6-4, 7-5 against Boo, but de Minaur is clearly a higher level player, and Bu is not going to be ready for that. Sure, he's a clear favorite to win. Minus 750. I won't be touching it. First match back on the hard courts. You know how I get down. Moving on. The two Italian boys. We got Arnaldi going against Sonego, Matteo, and Renzo. Can you believe it? These motherfuckers have never played each other. What? 6 years apart, granted, but two Italians. They're ranked 7 apart. They have 7 ranks apart. Sonego is 37 and Arnaldi is 44. So surprised they've never seen each other. This will be the first time. Arnaldi beat Altmaier 3 sets. Sonego is yet to play an official match in singles in the hard court. He has been playing doubles though. He's playing with Munar as a partner. I don't know if they won today or not, but he's been playing with him and they look pretty good. They won their first match, so. Or did they? I think they may have lost. They did lose. I remember it was a bad return that hit the net that ended the match from Sonego. He's 7-6 on the hard courts this season, and so is Arnaldi. This could be a long match. I don't know who's going to win this one. Arnaldi's been a bit more battle tested as of recently because he's played. So I would lean towards him getting a set, maybe. But I don't know with that one. The Italian boys. I don't know. Any Italian fans of the channel let me know who y'all got, who you rooting for. Next, we have a head-to-head that I love. And I loved watching it earlier this year in Den Bosch, and I'm going to love watching it again tomorrow. I'm mad that I didn't have a ticket for this day, because I'll be just losing it. Riley Opelka and Daniel Medvedev. Their 7th head-to-head. They went to a double tiebreak on the grass in Den Bosch. Opelka winning in those straight sets. Medvedev winning in straight sets right before. And that was 4 years ago back in Toronto on the hard courts. Every time they've played on the hard courts, Daniel Medvedev has won. The indoor hard courts is another story. I think with Medvedev's most recent drop in rank, and Opelka, I think he's climbing back up. I think he might be climbing ever so slightly. Medvedev is 9-5. Opelka is 10-6. So very similar record. 24 wins from both of them. 14 losses from Medvedev. 18 losses from Opelka. Let's see what the game spreads are looking like for this one. $3.5. Opelka 3.5. He didn't cover that the last time they played on the hard court, but that was 4 years ago. He was moving pretty well on the grass. And I was there to watch a bit of his match, but dude, it was so hot during Opelka's match. I don't know how he was sitting there playing that match. There was no one there. It was so hot. It was like literally. Plus, Venus Williams was playing with Bautista at the time, and the city was just there to watch that. Honestly, but damn, yeah, it was hot as fuck for the Opelka match. like beaming hot sun right on top of their heads, nowhere to go type shit. So for him to get that done was pretty impressive. Against who did he play against? Cazaux. 2 tie breaks in the first sets. And then Medvedev lost to Ben Bonzi in fucking Wimbledon. So, what are we going to do about that? Opelka looking like he could get the spread to be held at plus 3.5. Not too mad at that. Maybe looking back and watching that one from a distance just to enjoy it. We will see. We shall see. But yeah, I don't know who's going to win that one. Medvedev should be the obvious winner here, but he hasn't obviously been winning against people he should obviously be beating, so we'll see. He did play decently well up until Wimbledon on the grass. Rough start in Den Bosch, but made it to the final in Halle. But he hasn't touched a hard court since Miami, where he lost to Munar in straight sets. So let's move on. We have Taylor Fritz going against Alexander Vukic, who, damn, ruined the draw. That's for sure. I'm sure everybody is going to flock to see Taylor Fritz just beat the brakes off this kid. Taylor Fritz has played him twice before. Last year and the year before that. Once on the clay in Eastbourne and in Atlanta. Beat him both times. Straight sets on the grass in Eastbourne and in a 3-setter where he lost a tiebreak against him in Atlanta. Came back and won 6-4. Vukic just beat Gio and Pechi Pericard. We took the certified smoke for Gio to win in straight sets. His serve was the only thing that was there, honestly, and I think we got to start looking at this a little bit more closely. Outside of his serve, what does the boy have to offer? Because he has a lot of unforced errors just from his forehand returns. His backhand seems to be working just fine, but his forehand is what gets him in trouble every time. So until we can see an improvement with the forehand, I would rather stay away from Gio. That's just my personal advice. That's just a sidebar off of Vukic and Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz, proven grass champion. And now we know he's been proven on the hard courts as well. As the American number 1 and number 4 in the world. Currently 13-5 on the hard courts. Vukic is 4-9. Do I need to really carry on here? He made it to the semifinals in Miami. Lost to Jakub Mensik. Beat El Chapo, Sonego, Walton, Berrettini. Lost to Jack Draper and Indian Wells. Lost to Alejandro Davidovich Falkina in straight sets in Delray Beach. Damn, he lost in California to these people. That's crazy. He's from California. That's got a sting. El Chapo beat him in Dallas. Feast beat him in Melbourne. So these are the people that are beating him, right? El Chapo, Monfils, Fakina, Draper, Mensik. Vukic is not in that category. Not even remotely. Taylor Fritz is probably a stupid favorite to the point where it's not even worth betting on him. Minus 900. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? Take a spread, maybe. I wouldn't even take a spread because it's his first game back on the clay. I mean, on the hard court. So, you can go ahead and try and get him for minus 3.5. Good luck to you, man. I'm not touching it. I know he's gonna win, but it's not. There's no money in it. There's no money in it. So obvious winner there, though, right? Good luck to Taylor Fritz. Our last three are going to be quite interesting to talk about. We have Lerner Tien going against Andrei Rublev, the two people I got photos with. So I'm sorry. I'm like a little bit iffy about this match. Tien came in looking really good. And Rublev's been giving up sets. He's been giving up sets, and he has been giving up sets in his matches. To Nava and Kovacevic. I'm going to just break it down to you like this. Emilio Nava lost to Rublev 5-7, 6-4, 6-3. Lerner Tien. He lost to Lerner Tien 6-1, 6-4. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I put a future on Lerner Tien. He's plus 30,000 to win on DraftKings. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it hits, though, sprinkle a little bit on it. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. I think he can get through Rublev. I said it. I fucking said it. I think he can get through Rublev. He knows how he plays. He's a learner before anything else. He's plus 188. Ah! This is good. This is good stuff. This is such good stuff. But I have to control myself. I have to refrain. We're only going to take him for a set, if anything. Minus 175. Surely he's able to beat him, though, right? Rublev couldn't beat Kovacevic. I think Kovacevic can't beat Tien. He lost a set to Nava. Nava couldn't even win 6 games against Tien. He couldn't even get to a set to win for himself. And we know Tien's track record. He's beaten Zverev already. He's beaten Ben Shelton. He's beaten Opelka. He's beaten Cam Norrie. I think he can do it, bruh. I think if he can beat Zverev, I think he can beat Rublev. But specifically, the way Rublev is playing right now, I think. The thing is, though, when I saw Rublev playing, he looked like he was fucking ready, bro. I got a video on my phone of this motherfucker hitting the ball against with Taylor Fritz, and this motherfucker was smoking that thing, smoking the backhand. Like dust was flying off the ball each time he was hitting it. So he looked like he was in good form. He hasn't played yet though, and I don't know if this is like. When was the last time Rublev lost in the first round? Let's look at that. Well, the second round. Because he's in the second round automatically. And Halle on the grass. Rome on the clay. Barcelona on the clay. Miami on the hard courts. Indian Wells on the hard... Yo. Lerner Tien might get this done for us, fam. He may be the certified smoke we're looking for. I'm gonna move on. I might have to say it. I might have to do it today, guys. That might have to be the one. It makes the most sense to me. If I'm tripping, I'm tripping. Tell me that I'm tripping. But everything I just heard myself say sounds like it makes sense for him to win. Next, we have Kaboli going against Nishioka. They are 1-1 so far in their head-to-heads. Nishioka played him last year, beat him 6-1, 6-0 in Los Cabos. And then literally that next month, Kaboli came back, lost the first set 1-6, and then beat him 6-1, 6-4. Damn. Kaboli is in the top 20 now. And boy, the boy's been playing so good. He started the whole thing on my channel. He's still here. That whole they're still in the draw joke that I started on this channel, that started with Flavio Kaboli. Hamburg, I wasn't even doing tennis. I wasn't covering the clay at that time. I was taking a break until we came back to the grass. But during that era, I was like, dude, this dude is still here, bro, in Hamburg. And then he beat Rublev in the final. He made it to the quarterfinals against Djokovic, and he took a set off Djokovic. The kid got heart, bro. Italian boy got heart. So, going against the Japanese 29-year-old Nishioka. Kaboli hasn't played yet. That's the only reason why I want to stay away from him. Nishioka did get through Jensen Brooksby, who did not seem too comfortable in that heat. So, yeah. No words for this one. Nishioka for a set. If anything. Or it going to 3 sets, but maybe don't even touch that. Nah, don't touch that. And then last but not least, we have Alexander Kovacevic going against Francis Tiafoe. And I will be at work, sadly, but I will be watching the dog shit out of this match. They've played each other twice before. He beat Kovacevic in the 3rd round last year in DC. So this will be his 2nd time going against him in DC, and potentially his 3rd time beating him. He played him in the US Open last year and beat him in 4 sets. And so it seems like he always gives up a set to him. Kovacevic can get a set, but he don't win the match. They're 55 ranks apart. It's big foe in DC in his hometown. It's not going to really have much better odds for him to win than this, if I'm being quite frank. In my purest of souls, I would love to take Tiafoe to win this match. But Kovacevic has been tested, bro. He's been tested. He's been tested so far. He's beaten Rublev. Only person that's a big threat to him is Denis Shapovalov. And thank God I don't think he's here. But I think he should be in DC. Is he not in the draw? Pretty sure he's in this draw. Excuse me. He may be. He may be in this draw. No, he's not. He would have been in it already. Anyway, Kovacevic versus Tiafoe, I don't know. A set from Kovacevic is something that he's done in every match against him, so that's what I'd take. I'd be rooting for Tiafoe to win the match, but from what I saw him playing in doubles, he's streaky. He's somebody though that like we've seen him literally in matches be losing, and then he gets the crowd involved, and then he just turns into a different player. Literally, when he gets the crowd behind him, he turns into a different player. At home, on a hard court, I don't know if he has better odds when he's even losing. I think he has like Alcaraz level comeback game when he has that behind him. So, and if you don't believe me, there's a video or there's a match you can watch. You can watch when he was dressed crazy in that red fit against Yannick Sinner. I think they were playing maybe in China or something. I don't know where they were playing, but he beat him in 3 sets, and he was not supposed to be beating him, but he got the crowd involved, and that turned the game upside down. He had the pop collar. He looked like he was in the 80s. He had the headband on. You got to find it. You got to find it. Tiafoe was playing out of his mind. If he gets that type of support from his home court, be afraid of that nigga. Be very afraid of that nigga, bro. All right, so that wraps up everything. It's a long video, I know, but I had to make sure we get through everything. It's going to be significantly shorter after tomorrow. So thank you guys for sticking around. I'm sure people didn't stick around for the whole video. I know it's long as hell, but it is what it is. Thank you guys again. For futures, I'm thinking about Carabelli. I'm thinking about Prizmic for Umag. I think. Yeah, Umag. I got money on Lerner but in reality, I think Ben Shelton, Tiafoe, or Fritz will get it done from the Americans, but there are some others that do linger. Who else are going to be? Demonar, if he keeps playing well through these first 2 rounds, I think he can go. If he can get to this first round, he might go to the semis. Holger, he's working with Agassi right now. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Agassi's like developing his game now. I don't know if he's coaching him, but he's just here in DC working with him, and he looked really good in the practice courts. So I don't know what he picked up, but I could see him making it to the semis too. I could see Lerner Tien through some weird graces getting there and winning the whole thing. Somehow. My hope is there. So I'm rooting for the kid. And that's obviously if Tiafoe is out of the tournament early. But we're rooting for Francis Tiafoe to win that match all the way to the final. But we'll talk about it more tomorrow. I'll let you guys get the video in, and I'll catch you in the next one.